So,
All right, Colion.
this is a long time coming.
Yeah,
like we talked about off camera, being kind of talking off and on for a little bit for about since 2019.
yeah, 2019, right?
Yeah.
We talked about it and was supposed to go to SHOT Show and meet you guys in SHOT Show, but unfortunately we couldn't make it. And
Yeah.
then COVID happened, and then all these fiasco happened, and then a lot of things. And you're a busy man. I truly appreciate the opportunity, man. It's such an honor to meet you.
Oh, well, the pleasure's all mine. Pleasure's definitely on mine. I mean, look, I remember the first time I saw your helmet that you make, and I was blown away aesthetically. And, everyone who involves me knows I'm really big on aesthetics. And so it was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen in terms of the ballistic helmet world. Yeah. However, I will say this. I'm like, this can't be really ballistic. Like, I thought it was just all show. I'm not gonna say it was no go, but I'm like, okay, maybe it has some properties in terms of being, like a bump helmet where it's just like might protect my head if I fall, or if I'm feeling really sexy, I'd use it to ride my bike. But
So absolutely, a lot of people see it like that. Like when I came out with the airsoft one in like 2010. It was for airsoft. People understood it was like for airsoft because, how it looks.
Yeah.
And then around 2015, I started shooting it with real guns, and I put like Kevlar on it, tried to test different types of materials. And then, I had like a few thousand views, and people were like, okay, this guy is onto something. And then 2017, we fully launched it in IDEX and military show in Abu Dhabi. That's when we got a lot of traction. There's this one guy, Green Beret, who ordered from us in 2016. And he posted a picture of himself with a Black Hawk right behind him.
Yeah.
And this picture went viral over 200 million views on Facebook, like Yahoo News and the Times UK, and so on and so forth. And they were calling it the Star Wars. Right, so people are like, "Is this for real?"
Yeah, that's how I was.
That's been a problem for us because it's something like this has never been done before, and people see it as like, it looks really like space-like,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
no,
too
it
futuristic.
does. I mean, but in the best way possible. It's not like space-like when it's like, okay, that's just silly. Like you see it and you think, I really hope this is real because it looks so cool that if it's not real, it's going to make me sad in many ways. But it turned out it is real. It's a real ballistic helmet. So what calibers will this helmet stop?
So right now, the helmets, right? So I have here a custom one with green panels. So this would stop up to level 3A threats. Level 3A threats meaning 44 Magnum. You have 357 SIG, 9mm at 1,480 FPS on FMJ. That would be the max of it. So on level 3A, that would be the max for the pistol rounds realm. So you have like level 2A, which is just a 45 ACP, 9mm on a handgun, and then going to level 2, which is 357 Magnum, and then the highest for 3A is 44 Magnum and 357 SIG. Now, NIJ certification hasn't really evolved much. The last time they updated it was in 1990, and the standards has been around since 1982, I believe, 1986. And they updated in 1990 because they understand that, pistol rounds have been, innovated, and the speed of it and the projectile is getting stronger, or, it has steel core or something like that.
Yeah.
So level 3A, that would be 1990, and they modified it. They call it the 0106.01 NIJ level 3A. So we're getting more specific. 357 SIG. So if you see a helmet that says level 3A modified, that is up to the highest standard, up to date from 1990.
Okay. Gotcha.
And then now when we're talking about rifles, it's level 3. Level 3 can stop to 5.56 and 7.62 NATO ball rounds, jacketed, but it doesn't have the steel core. Once you go to steel core AP rounds, that would be level 3 plus plus or level 3 plus. But there's no such thing as level 3 plus for NIJ. It's either this level 3 or level 4. But now I think they have changed it already. So yeah, the helmet can stop up to 44 Magnum, but how you look at it, these panels are replaceable. So this part right here is the side cheek plates where you can do. This is removable because it's a lot easier for you to cheek your gun and see through your sights.
Okay, because that was going to be my next question. And now, granted, yeah. I have one of these, so I'm more or less kind of asking you the question so that people have a better understanding. So that's the first thing I noticed. Like I noticed it big time when I was running like gas mask. That was a big deal for me. Was trying to find a gas mask that could work where I could cheek my rifle. And so
I saw that CM7 mask.
Yeah, and so like knowing now that you kind of have those panels that you can replace to cheek the rifle, was that something that you generated when it was just for like airsoft? Or
yeah, it was for airsoft. When I came out with the airsoft one, the first one was just a one piece mask, and it was kind of difficult to see through my sights. And I was like, okay, I could do something with this. And 7 years in development, I came up with the ballistic one. So it was like a slow transition from trial and error, going back to redesigning it, and so on and so forth, and from the mechanics, from the electronics of it too. It was fun working on it.
Now you said electronics.
Yeah, it has electronics, right? Now inside the lens frame, right here, there is a microjet fan, and that does is it blows air onto the lens and defogs it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
That is freaking awesome.
The top one right here is actually a ventilation system on top of it. So I didn't bolt it in. What you do is you screw it from underneath, and then it would lock it in place. And it's operated by a 9-volt battery.
Okay.
Right here. Yeah.
Huh.
And what it does, so why we have ventilation system in the helmet, why we're able to do this type of equipment, was basically the biggest issue in the beginning when I was playing airsoft was that fogging, right? No matter what kind of glass you have, at the end of the day, after 30 minutes or an hour, it will start to create condensation or fogging, and it's really difficult to see through anything. Yeah. So what I did with the mask, especially because it's really clogged, there's no escape for it, I put a ventilation system. I put a microjet fan, so it defogs it. Now, and then I realized that it was also an advantage for setting up with night vision. Now, the reason, so you've seen one of these, probably you've worn one of these before. This is the revision battle skin, and it's now called Galvian, I think. The company renamed it Galvian. So you see here, it is very far from your eyes.
Yeah.
Right? That is to prevent fogging. So your moisture, the moisture from your face, doesn't collect onto the glass.
Glass, okay.
Now, the drawback to that is you cannot use night vision. What you have to do is you have to take this off.
And then replace it with your
night vision. So now you have a lot of exposed area where you can get injured, right? So I was thinking, that's not going to do well. I mean, your eyes is still exposed, or probably you're going to be wearing goggles, and still that thing will fog in like about an hour or two when you're especially in like this, stressful situation. And it's basically the fogging, and then the top of it, right? This one, you can see it's a whole ballistic slab of material.
Yeah.
Kevlar or PE, what have you. But humans create heat, right? And then it goes up. if your heat goes up, it gets trapped right here.
Okay, so hence the venting on the top.
Yeah, hence the venting on the top.
Okay.
Exactly. And in most situations, when you're heating up, you're only thinking about the discomfort. You're not really thinking about the situation. I mean, for me, example, I get easily uncomfortable with many things. If I'm uncomfortable with something, I would do something about it.
Yeah.
So with the helmet, yeah.
Gotcha.
That's what I did with the helmet. Yeah.
So from a weight standpoint, what are we looking at in terms of weight? Like how heavy is the helmet?
So weight, this one right here is about 2 kilograms, right? Now this 2 kilogram helmet right here only has that feature where it's going to protect you from level 3A threats, level 3A threats here, and shrapnels right here. And that's it. 2 kilograms, or I would say about 4 pounds.
Yeah.
This one right here is 5 pounds.
Okay.
4 pounds versus 5 pounds. So 2.5 kilograms versus 2 kilograms. But when you look at it, it does a lot of other features. You can replace the panels, the ballistics of it. You can change the panels from level 3A. This one is a level 3A. We can change it to level 3 to stop 5.56 or 7.62. It's as simple as changing the panel. It's more like a plate carrier. You know?
That's a good way to put it. That's a damn good way to put
it's more like a plate carrier. You just, take this off and replace it with, a higher threat ballistics. Now, higher threat ballistics, we can do different types of materials, from ceramics, from titanium, from PE, and so on and so forth. It really depends on the demand and, the tender or what the customer needs it for. But how we see it, there's a lot of argument about that level 3, helmet on the head.
In what sense? Oh, whether or not it's necessary, or
whether or not it's necessary, or whether or not it's going to actually protect you, or you're going to survive it. Yeah, because I've talked to all the years I've been working on these helmets. We've sold over about 1,100 so far. These helmets in a span of 5 years. We've sold to special forces guys, veterans, private security, you name it. But we haven't really sold to military, because that's a totally different ballgame. Yeah. So most of our customers are SWAT, a lot of civilians as well, enthusiasts. And I've talked to these special forces guys. I have some good friends I've been working with for a while. And they said one guy has been shot in the chest with a AK-47 while he was wearing a level 4. Yeah. Level 4 back then was still made of ceramic. And he got injured internally. So if you think about it, you put a level 3 ballistic plate on your face and get shot with a 5.56 or 7.62, which it goes about 3,200 feet per second, more or less, right? Yes, yeah. And that is over 1,800 pounds of force. So imagine, it does stop it. Yeah, we can definitely make it to level 3. Yeah. We can definitely make it to level 3, but you're talking about what kind of traumatic brain injury you're going to have after getting shot with a 7.62 by 39 on your head. Even if it stops it, just imagine, the power by just shooting that gun, and how the pain after a while from shooting it, and that projectile hitting on just one location of that helmet. So there's a lot of argument about that. Some people don't really understand it, and when we try to explain it to them, so we cater this helmet to breachers, CQB. It's not really, I wouldn't recommend it for people, in desert warfare or jungle warfare. I can see a lot of problems wearing this in the jungle, like humidity, heat, the weight distribution of it, or desert warfare probably might work, but then you're going to have to clean the sand off and so on and so forth. So yeah, it's a breaching helmet. I made the helmet because I like playing CQB.
Okay.
And every time I room clear, every time I apex or pie or whatever you call it, the fatal funnel,
Yeah.
I get shot. No matter what kind of, technique you do, you have the American way where, they go all in really fast in just under 1 second, 4-man team, 5-man team, or what have you. And then you have the Israeli type where you, check the corner really quick, assess, and, you do the apex thing, you check your degrees and you check all of your body, if any part of it is exposed. And no matter what you try to do, and if you don't know what's going inside that room, how many people there are inside that room, no matter what kind of team you have, I would say 50% of the time is your success rate.
Yeah. Nope, you're absolutely right. I mean, I'm not going to say that from experience, so to speak, but kind of.
Yeah.
I took a course about clearing, and we use airsoft. And that's essentially what they told us. Like, especially if you're the first man in, there's someone there waiting for you. Chances are you're getting shot.
Yeah. So what are the solutions to that? I've been obsessed about that because I've been watching a lot of videos. There has to be something for these guys who goes in first, because I like to go in first.
Yeah.
I want to take out as many people as I want playing airsoft, and I'm winning this. But more often than not, I'm just like, okay, I'm back to the base and just waiting for my next turn. So obsessed about it, looked into it, and unfortunately, there's nothing for these guys, these breachers. Well, you have some solutions. You have the one-piece glass, which is the GIGN uses. And that one-piece glass alone weighs about 4 pounds just for the glass.
The glass, yeah.
And then you add the helmet, it's about 2.5 pounds. So you're looking at over, 7 to 10 pounds, depending on the size of it as well.
Yeah.
So that's one. And it's like, no. Problem with that is you cannot use night vision. You don't have a cheek weld. It's freaking heavy, right? It doesn't have ventilation. And the weight distribution is like you're just balancing it from your head. It's like you're just balancing it, and like, okay, if I lean over a little bit forward, my head, I try to look down, it feels like my helmet's going to fall off, right? So I'm going to try to balance it back up. And that was one problem of that. And then the other solution is pretty much this one right here. With this, again, no cheek weld, doesn't have protection in the face, and so on and so forth. And it's just uncomfortable, and you don't have the balance. So I created the helmet for breaching, which provides all of those that I just talked about, like all of those pain that you would have, can cheek weld, can apex, and at least this time, when you peek out from that corner or that wall or that apex, right?
Yeah.
There's a chance that you'd still get hit, but somehow you're gonna, you might survive it, get shot in the face, and you'd catch it. But the next guy, you'd be able to come in and take the guys out.
Gotcha.
Theoretically,
Okay.
So basically, yeah.
So where do you see, what plans do you have next for the helmet? Like, as far as kind of like just innovating and going forward, are you like, are there any plans to like change the way it looks, improve certain functionality?
I think this is as far as I can go for now. There are some other designs that I have, but technology and materials aren't there yet to be able to make that product. At the moment, for what's available to the public or companies, materials-wise, manufacturing-wise, this is as far as we can go. So what you have is the breacher version. The breacher version is more, more compact, more ergonomic. This one is what we call the CS version. This is the respirator version. Now, the respirator version is a little bit longer right here. So you can install like mirror safety taper.
Okay.
Yeah. We use the taper for this. And you can put like a hose underneath, or you can put the filter next to it. If you put the hose underneath,
Uh-huh.
you have pretty much 90% protection.
That's crazy.
And then you put the hose underneath. And then you have the PAPR, right?
Yeah.
The filter.
Hold on. I'm actually going to go grab mine real quick.
Sure.
So this is such a good looking. So good looking.
Thanks, man.
But yeah, no, this thing is okay. So yeah, I'm starting to see some of the differences.
Yeah, the difference right here, right? Yeah. Yours is not bulky in front.
Okay.
Yeah, this one is bulkier in front. Just basically, we extended it so we can use the Meteor Safety or AVEC taper for it.
So I couldn't use it on this one.
That one, no,
Okay.
no.
Okay.
That's called the breacher version. So what you have there,
so this is
called,
one piece.
Yeah, that's a one piece. Now it also comes with the detachable cheek plates.
Okay.
That one also comes with detachable cheek plates. What you can do is simply remove that front piece
And then attach.
And then attach, the detachable cheek plates. I don't think I have a helmet right here, but pretty much you just unbolt that one, and then you grab the pieces and install it just the same way as you do this right here. You see this side piece? Yeah. That one right there.
With the pick rail?
Yeah, you had the Picatinny rail. There's some parts where you can just take this off, replace the parts. So yeah, that's pretty much the beauty of the helmet, is that we have two versions of it. We have the breacher version for guys who don't really need to use respirator, but the respirator isn't really like, CBRN. It is more for smoke inhalation, dust, or carbon monoxide, or pepper spray, or what have you. Pretty much tear gas. It does help with tear gas. If you're going to be using tear gas and you're a SWAT guy, you're going to be using tear gas. All you need to do is turn off the fan for the lens frames or any fan, so that there won't be any tear gas going into your eyes. And pretty much it won't vacuum in tear gas anymore. It's just going to block it. Maybe there would be like some tear gas that would go in, but you wouldn't really have to worry about that. What you have to worry about is your lungs when you're breathing tear gas. Yeah. So that's where this helmet shines. So we sold about 30 of these to SWAT teams in Thailand, and I was in Thailand about 3 weeks ago. We were training them how to use it. They loved it, and they totally understood the value of it. And they said the beauty of it too is that you can also install a night vision. Yeah, night vision mounting. And Thailand is pretty hot. It's like 35 degrees to 37 degrees. Ventilation system worked like a charm for them. The one piece traditional helmets for them, they said they'd rather not wear it because it's just so uncomfortable. Gotcha. And when they wear night vision on it, they have to balance it. You've worn it. I've seen you wore a ballistic helmet and you put night vision on it. And then it's already, making your head move forward. Now to balance it, you're going to put another weight behind it. Now just adding more weight.
Counterweight on the back, yeah.
The counterweight. So it didn't make any sense to me. But what our helmet does, you don't need a counterweight because it acts like a skull crusher. Once you put the night vision on, pretty much it acts like a skull crusher. So it's your jaw that's actually pushing and balancing the weight of the system.
Okay.
Instead of actually your neck. The back of your neck is what you're controlling with the one-piece ballistic helmet, right? It's like, and after like an hour, for me, like I'm like you. I'm just a civilian. I don't know shit, but it doesn't make any sense to me why I have to balance it with the back of my neck. Yeah. Which the back of my neck doesn't really have that much muscle unless I train like Mike Tyson. Definitely, I definitely can hack it. But military guys, they don't really train their necks either. And I've seen, I've heard stories where people get neck injuries, prolonged neck injuries. So my business partner, he is Dr. Richard Kaczynski, American Japanese, based in Japan, 42 years old, went to Harvard, Kyoto University, MD, MA, PhD surgeon. He's now doing clinical studies in Japan for COVID. He's helped with Stanford and in tactical injuries or soldier injuries, and he's seen a lot of these injuries. And the most boggling thing for him was that how come these helmets haven't really changed much? It's not that the injury, protecting from bullets, it's the after effects of it, the prolonged effects of wearing these helmets
for extended periods of time. Yeah.
Just imagine doing this, balancing your head for 10 to 15 years while in your service.
I mean,
right?
I did a 3-day night course with it while we were in the mountains of New Mexico. And just in that short period of time, I started noticing some neck fatigue on my end there. So I can only imagine, years and years and years and years and years of doing that would start to add up quite quickly.
Yeah. So he was talking about that, and we have videos of him. I think I sent you a video on the PowerPoint presentation. It's there. He talks about the neck injuries, the prolonged neck injuries. Another thing was the traumatic brain injury, the TBI. So the one-piece ballistic helmet right here, this right here, I would compare the ballistics protection of this like a World War II Sherman tank. This looks like a World War II Sherman tank to me, where a World War II Sherman tank is just a one-piece slab of steel, right? This one is a one-piece slab of aramid fabric. What I'm trying to say is that when a bullet hits this one, the energy is distributed all the way to the helmet. It's just going to receive it. And the back face deformation, or the cavity that the projectile makes, is just severe. It goes all the way up to 44 millimeters. So it's either going to stop it. How it's going to stop it, it's going to try to receive all of that energy, all of this material, it's like, a bed sheet when you put something on it.
Yeah.
It's just going to try to grab all of that. Yeah. And then creates a big cavity right here. So this is a Sherman tank right here. This one is like your your new tanks, like the Abram tanks. Abram tanks, they have a chassis, right? They have a cockpit. And then they have the armor in separate pieces.
Yeah.
So what happens is when this hits, it would only break this part right here. And then the kinetic energy, it's either going to dislodge it or break it away, or there's a cushioning between. So right between that, there's a 1.5 millimeter rubber foam.
Okay.
Rubber foam sheet. So it acts like a suspension. So to explain it a little bit more simpler, you play billiards, pool?
Yep.
Right? So when you place the balls in a triangle and everything is intact, once you hit or break that triangle, right, it's going to scatter around.
Yeah.
Now, that's the kinetic energy you're receiving from this helmet. Now, if one ball is not really connected to the other, and then you strike that, it's not going to break, spread out. The ball's not going to spread out.
Yeah.
Pretty much it's like this. Am I making any sense with that?
Yeah. You actually are.
Yeah. So it's pretty much like that. So the pieces are not connected together. There's spacing in between.
So it kind of it isolates the I want to say the amount of energy that the helmet takes. So it disperses it, of course, but it disperses it by kind of almost dislodging. Whereas with the older helmet, when it strikes, it's almost spreading the force around the entirety of the helmet, but the helmet's not going anywhere. So your head and brain is receiving it. Gotcha.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. That makes perfect sense.
So it's like if you have space in between and you hit this, it's gonna stop like that.
Yeah.
And move a little. But if it's like this and then something hits here, this is gonna move.
Yeah. So it doesn't. It's
I
almost
don't
like
really know.
it's almost like I guess the wings on a plane, where you know they're designed to have flex, you know, so that you know like in turbulence. So instead of just breaking off because they're too sturdy, you know, they're designed to kind of go with it to kind of alleviate some of that. I don't know if the right word is pressure, but some of the forces that come with the wind that come with turbulence. And so the helmet does the same thing, I'm assuming, whereas it'll take the force initially, but then instead of transferring all the rest of the energy into your brain or to your head, it disperses it by almost dislodging itself and just saying, all right, this one's done. Hope you don't get hit here again because that'll suck. But if you get hit here again, then that will kind of dissipate too as well. So I totally get it. It makes perfect sense. I'm doing a terrible job explaining it, but I get exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Same thing as like F1 cars, right? Mm-hmm. They have a crumple zone. I think that's the best way to describe it. They have a crumple zone. F1 cars, when these things crashes, everything just breaks apart. But the cockpit, it's like you have foam cushioning around you. So pretty much that's what our helmet provides. Gotcha. And what people don't understand is that the TBI, traumatic brain injury, from the one-piece helmet is so severe that if you try to look in YouTube, look for big companies showing the back face deformation of their helmets, they will not show videos of the back face signature. So NIJ standards, how you test these helmets to get a certification, or you would say it's passed, is that they would put it in a steel frame, right? And then this steel frame has a mannequin head made of aluminum, right? Mm-hmm. And this thing is sturdy as hell. Yeah. It's absolutely sturdy. Now, you put the helmet on top of it while there's a clay on it. You put that thing, and then they would shoot that helmet. And when they take it off, they're going to see the deformation on the clay, and they measure that. Yeah. They measure the back face signature. So NIJ's allowable back face signature to pass a test is 24.5 millimeters. So that's about like an inch, I think, about an inch thick.
And that's your head. We're talking about that's what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going into your head.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which is funny is that this foam from this is also an inch thick. Mm-hmm. So yeah, probably the back face deformation, this one is a little less than 24.5. But because of that foam, you're having to wobble it every time. It's uncomfortable. Anyway, the back face signature of our helmet on a 44 Magnum, which we show on YouTube, is 11.59 millimeters, half of what is on NIJ standard. Yeah. NIJ standard to pass is 24.5. Ours on a 44 mag is 11.59. And from your helmet, have you seen the cushioning on your helmet? It's about this thin.
This thick, yeah.
Right? It's this thin. This one is freaking thick.
Yeah.
And that is, something like that. And it just looks so uncomfortable. I mean, this is a little old now. This is about 5 years old, and there's been a lot of different types of helmet cushioning. They have like 3D type of printed cushioning now, and they have the D30 and so on and so forth. But my point is, these helmets, they don't show back face deformation, NIJ back face deformation on YouTube. And there's this funny picture trending recently that I saw. You know the company Hardhead Veterans?
Yes.
Yeah, Hardhead Veterans, they sell Chinese helmets. And there's a picture that's been trending recently that I posted on my Instagram that it has a bad back face deformation. And they were saying, don't buy Hardhead Veterans helmet because these are made in China and it has bad back face deformation. And then I posted a picture with other same type of ballistic helmets, like not gonna drop names for companies, but so I showed like military issued helmets that also has the same back face deformation. And I just said, look, it's pretty much the same thing. No matter what country is making it, it's still the same result. Countries like China or Korea or what have you, or Thailand, they make the same ballistic helmets, one-piece ballistic helmets, exactly the same manufacturing process that's over 100 years old, right? And they just press the material like a cookie cutter. They take out the material, they cut the sides of it, paint it, voila, you have a ballistic helmet. They use the same material as everybody else, KM2, Kevlar, or you have Dyneema, or you have Teijin. And these companies are famous companies. Like Teijin is a famous Japanese company, and they have really good material. And I understand that hardhead veterans, their material is actually Teijin.
Okay.
So the American-made ones, or whatever country it's made from, they're all the same material, aramid fabric or PE. It's just different manufacturing. So backface deformation is going to be the same. And people can actually cheat on it. They would say it was shot with a 9mm, but nobody knows. Maybe it was shot like a 500 Magnum to make it look. There's no video of it.
I see what
there's
you're saying.
no
There's no video. It's just the after effect of what happened to the helmet. We don't know exactly what did it beyond what they tell us. Okay.
Yeah. So I just posted a picture of it and saying, all of these one-piece ballistic helmets have bad backface deformation. And what they cater to, they say, it is to protect you from bullets. It is to protect you from shrapnels. But my biggest question is, if it's going to protect you from bullets, I mean, where do bullets come from? Like, it doesn't really come from the sky, because it goes directly to your face. And then if they're saying that they're selling it, they're marketing it for shrapnels or IEDs, where's the projectile coming from? It's from the ground up.
Yeah, that is true.
So you're left with how much protection on your head. And when you do breaching, right? When you do breaching, let's say we take this off right here. What normally people would see is also kind of difficult to take it off. This is what normally people would see. Now this is the low cut. Now they have the high cut. The high cut because the earmuffs, the peltors. And okay, let's say it's a high cut, and then now you have ballistic protection only to the head, and you have if you shoot this part right here about an inch lower, this will not protect you. What happens is that the bullet would hit this and it would slide in. So which leaves you with 20% protection. Right? So
that's crazy.
I was in I had this funny conversation when I was presenting in Middle East. It's like, what do you guys do when you're breaching? I mean, how about your face? One guy I don't know, he was being flippant about it. He said, we do this and go breaching.
Oh, man. But no, man, I mean, I personally think, I think the freaking helmet is awesome. I do plan on doing a video on it myself and kind of running it through its paces. And I look forward to doing that. And I've kind of done some stuff off camera that I haven't recorded yet. Just kind of
I appreciate that. The post that you did, the pictures that you posted, that helped a lot. A lot. It's like, I woke up one morning. It's like, why do I have like 100 messages today? It's like trying to look at Instagram.
So for people who are interested in kind of getting more information, and if they just want to go ahead and buy it too as well, where would they go?
They can just email us directly on our website. The problem with our website is that it's really simple. We just have information. You just send us a message. We don't have pricing. We don't say it's for civilians because we have several distributors, dozens of distributors around the world.
Gotcha.
We've been marketing it for quite a while, since 2017. We have distributors in many countries like UAE. We have Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia. We have France, and so on and so forth. Now, these companies, because it's more like a B2B business, they don't want the supplier to post prices.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prices, or we cannot even say that we're available to civilians.
Okay.
Because they're selling it to military or special forces. But that's one of the biggest challenges that we have, is that it is available to civilians, especially in the U.S. 85% of our market is actually U.S. And most people, when they see the website, no information, they're lazy to message, but just message us, email us, and we'll send you the information on how to purchase these. It is available to civilians in still a lot of countries. Right now, 12 countries, it's not available.
Gotcha.
Like Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, we have Peru, Kuwait, France, Germany, and Spain, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Okay.
U.S. I don't think we'll ever, lock down a distributorship in the U.S.
Okay.
Which is quite challenging. U.S. Not sure if I should say this here. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. All right. Well, no.
Some confidential information.
Fair enough. Well, I mean, appreciate you taking the time to kind of running. I'm sorry. Thanks for taking the time to kind of running us through the helmet. There's a lot of interest, and at least from the people that I know personally that have seen it. And so I think this video will do well in kind of letting them know exactly where they might want to pick one up or acquire one. We talk a lot about empowerment in this country, except for when it comes to the Second Amendment. However, I can't think of anything more empowering than having the most effective tool to protect you and your family. So help me spread this message by liking and sharing this video with everyone you know. And don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment, because the Second Amendment, when it said militia, it wasn't talking about the government. It was talking about you. Also, if you want to know where to find the I'm the Militia shirt and merchandise, click the I'm the Militia link in the description section of this video. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And most importantly, make sure you hit that bell symbol.